I'm recording. Hey.
Hi, Lainey.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Good.
Thanks for taking the time to do this. I imagine that you're really busy right now.
Yeah, we leave in a day and a half, basically. But I'm so happy. Thank you for having me back. I had so much fun last time.
Yeah,
Well,
we
we like to have a good time on the show.
Yeah, we like to have fun.
I actually don't.
Okay,
I
yeah.
take things very seriously. I kind of watch like Herzog movies and like archaeological TV and just kind of dwell. But, you know, that's just
James,
me.
this is James having fun because he knows what a kick we all get out of it. Like the other day, Alaina, we were driving around in LA and I was talking about how all the arenas and stadiums are now called like Verizon Arena or,
Oh
you know,
my
AT&T, like Yankee Stadium's called like MetLife Stadium or something, you know? And I was like, it's just so lame, you know what I mean? Like, why isn't it called? And James was like, I'm kind of into it, honestly.
Okay,
But he was
we've got a
just joking.
contrarian. Well,
he's just, you know,
how this feels because we have our show in New York is being presented by Lexus.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we didn't know, and we made like posters. And then when we started promoting them, the venue went and slapped Lexus's logo on it. And we saw it like online. We're like, wait, what? Who put Lexus on our poster? And they were like, it's required, chalked illegal, cannot remove it. Lexus has to have their name. And we're like, whoa, cool. We have nothing to do with Lexus. We don't get anything from Lexus.
You don't even get a Lexus.
You don't even get a Lexus?
I don't get a Lexus.
Toyota maybe that's like a lesser Lexus, but
No, so what's happening is we're promoting Lexus
Nice.
for no compensation whatsoever.
do you need to like take a minute here to like plug Lexus on the show, or is that in your part of your contract?
Lexus smells like blueberries inside and feels like a cloud of ashes when you ride in it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been in a Lexus. They're kind of
Me
like...
neither. That's why I didn't
Yeah.
know what to draw from.
Yeah.
I think you got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Welcome to the show. One of my favorite people on this whole dang planet, Alaina Moore. Singer and keyboardist and guitarist of the band
you.
Tennis.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, why not? You were telling me the other day. And Alaina, two-timer to the iWall family, and we're glad to have you back. Where are you right now? In your lovely home in California?
Yep. And just kicking back. I've got some wine and a whole lot of Ryder food over here, just chips, nuts, hummus.
Let's talk about your rider for a little bit here. What do we? Let's talk about it. What do we got? What's on your
brown
rider?
M&Ms only.
Yeah, exactly.
The Ryder for a long time has just been two things: water, for God's sake, water, and a mirror.
Yeah,
and that's
mirror.
basically all. And how dare you not have a mirror backstage for a band? Like, you have to check how you look before you go out.
It's rock and roll.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Certainly.
I want to talk a bit more about the food on it, though. You have like any weird things like a dog to walk or like 9-volt batteries?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's been nothing, not even food. We finally added chips and hummus. But
Chips and hummus, classic rider.
Yeah.
I've been on tour with Alaina, and I can back up what she's saying. Very minimalist.
Very minimal.
I appreciate the minimalist lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's just we could go to the convenience store and buy whatever we want.
Yeah.
I like putting whole vegetables and whole fruit.
Yeah, uncut.
Yeah, uncut.
How about
bunch
a
of
potato?
celery.
An entire potato,
Yeah.
uncooked.
I find asking for a knife is kind of convenient too, because sometimes you'll get the hummus, but you won't have anything to spread the hummus with.
Right.
And if you keep folding,
Yeah. Or there's like tea but no cups.
yeah, that sounds like a classic rider move. You know what I do? It's more about, I kind of appreciate your minimalist sensibilities because for me, riders are more about what you don't want on the rider. So it's like when like someone's like when like a soccer mom somehow is in charge of the rider and it's like pop, like Doritos and pop.
Yep, exactly.
That's not really going to sort me out. I'm kind of more of a San Pellegrino guy.
Classy.
Even though it's a Nestle product, it's still the best one.
I also think that from what I know of your lovely husband, Patrick, he's not the type of guy who would need a 9-volt battery in the rider because I'm sure he's prepared for anything that could possibly go wrong with a pedal or anything.
True
He's
professional.
got a plan. He's got a plan.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
What about vitamin C, just like soluble vitamin C tablets?
You know what? I don't believe in it.
You don't believe in it?
No, I don't believe in it. I mean, maybe it works. It's never worked for me.
But it's 1,000%. That's 10 more than 100%. How much vitamin? It's like, I sometimes think about that with alcohol itself, where it's like, if this beer is it's a 5% beer, so it's 95% water. So how much water do you need? Like 95%, that's nearly 100. And that means if I have 2 of these, I'm at 100, over 100%.
That's too much water.
It's like 190.
I don't think we'll be doing all this math on the show. I can't keep up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, can
Alaina,
you loop me in later when the math is done?
Yeah, exactly. Alaina, so you leave shortly on a massive tour.
Massive.
How long are you guys gone for?
We are going to be gone for a month and a half, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know how many shows we're playing because I don't like to know. I just know it's so long. What's the difference? It's going to feel like a lifetime. So I don't look at the schedule. I don't learn the schedule. I like to know nothing. I just get in the car and I'm surprised every day.
I have a question for you that's kind of, I think the answer is probably really obvious, but I don't know why I thought of it today. And I was like, I want to ask you. Because like we used to tour together like back in the day when it was like, just like the classic driving around in a minivan or whatever and playing our shows. But like we were young and we had like our whole lives ahead of us in music and we didn't know what was going to happen. Do you prefer to tour now that you're like a seasoned professional and your band is doing well and you play these wonderful venues? Or then when it was kind of like we're starting out and it's so cool to like be in a band and play all these shows. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's a great question. Well, the like effortlessness, I guess, and the camaraderie of those like small clubs feels still more like fun and joyful and like spontaneous things could happen. And, you know, it's like less pretentious in a way, which I like. But I won't lie, I'm not going to go back to having a show with no production at all. I mean, we still barely have any production compared to what one could have, but like lights are really nice. And
are you doing costume changes, Alaina?
50 to 60.
A set?
Yeah, per song.
Per song?
Yep.
The show is amazing now, though. It looks incredible. You guys have upped the ante year by year in that department. No
we're trying. I mean, it costs way too much money, but we're doing our best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you bringing a line guy with you, or are you running him off the stage? You got a guy with
Randy.
you. Randy. That's a classic tour guy name.
Yeah, Randy.
Does he drink a lot of Red Bulls and smoke cigarettes?
Does he have a ponytail?
No. He does smoke cigarettes. He doesn't have a ponytail, but he has one in spirit.
Yeah.
Did anybody just hear that kind of Longmont thing?
Oh.
It just happened again. Did anyone hear that?
No.
Is it like a screechy thing?
No, it went like a long, like a delay. It was cool though.
Oh shit!
I didn't get that. No.
Are you doing it to us, James? To mess with us?
No, I really not. I didn't.
It
I didn't
might
hear
be
it.
because we have Alaina on because of her kind of like Longmont
association.
roots.
Yeah,
association.
Well, if you hear more things happening, it might be because Pat is like streaming on the same internet. So if it's sounding weird, let me know and I'll kick him off. Yeah, he's like gaming right now.
Is he gaming right now? Does that something that doesn't really necessarily
like Elden Ring?
Yeah, fit into the tennis aesthetic. That to me.
We both game. We have a game room.
Does.
We have a PS4. Yeah.
What you hitting up Red Dead Redemption 2 still?
I mean, I mean, Pat just played Elden Ring.
Okay.
I play like role
Call of Duty
game. Yeah, Call of
against
Duty.
children, just
No, I
sniping
never.
them.
If anybody dies in the game, I can't play it.
Yeah.
So I played Journey until there was a dragon or something, and then I stopped. But
Only
when
know
I was
the band.
flying around on a, oh, it's a really beautiful game. But
Okay.
you just fly around on a magic carpet. It's really cute.
That's nice.
Until it actually gets intense, and then I quit.
I would go as far as to say that that's twee. What do you think, Johnny?
Gaming is a little bit twee. Video games are a bit twee.
Yeah.
The games
Alaina,
I play are twee.
Yeah, we've been wanting to talk to you about this because I figured you'd know. Like, apparently, I'm an authority on twee, and I didn't know this. Maybe you would say that I would be. I don't know, but like, because like back in the day, I listened to a lot of twee kind of music.
You threw a cassette mixtape at Zoe Deschanel as she in her concert.
I love this.
Okay.
I love this.
Well, anyway, all that aside, yeah, I figured you'd kind of know also what is or is not twee. So video games, I think, are a bit twee, kind of, you know.
That's polarizing. Video games can be twee, or what's the opposite of twee? Extremely violent and like
I guess like
man.
Yeah, well, that's true. They can be very incel as well, can't they?
Yeah, you're right. So either incel or twee.
Incel's a bit twee, though. Like not having sex. Not having sex is a bit twee.
So twee. Okay.
I don't know about that.
Like shooting up a college because you're not having sex is not twee. But it's like just being kind of sexless is kind of twee. Like kissing's twee.
Well, it's more like, well, yeah, it's more the innocence aspect, I think. James.
Exactly.
That really got me. Sexless is twee.
It is.
I'm a little annoyed, frankly, with just the classification of twee personally, because I am lumped into this category. I think just because I'm small, so I guess being diminutive is twee.
I don't think you're very twee. Personally.
I'm not.
I'm more twee than you are, I think.
I think also the association,
100%.
the association with the word tennis, I think, as well, because of like Wes Anderson.
I know.
Maybe. Yeah, a little bit.
Which is tough because the name
sailing,
came from like, the name was sarcastic.
Yeah.
So of course no one can possibly know that now. But yes, I you know what? I dug my own twee grave.
Well,
also a lot of the best music. A lot of the best music, like Belle and Sebastian, etc., super twee, was kind of like.
You're right.
A lot of the best music that came out in the 2000s, early 2010s was the twee music, in my opinion.
You're right, actually, yes. Like Camera Obscura.
Sure.
Of course, yeah. Like Magnetic Fields, super twee.
Very.
You know what I mean?
Well, we've been through that. They're the archetype. They're one of the archetypes.
Little bit, yeah.
And then bands like the Smiths and the Go-Betweens are like proto.
I think it's just Velvet
like Underground Loaded
songs.
is proto. Origins.
Writing songs with nice lyrics that are like personal and about relationships and stuff like that has become like a twee thing. But those are like Beatles or twee, if we're gonna, you know what I mean? Like
Paul McCartney is.
Yeah, Paul McCartney. Yeah. So you have a new album out. And
that's what I would like to talk about a little bit.
I love it so much. I think that now I can say this because I've followed your career. That your first album and your new album are my two favorite albums by Tennis, which is kind of which is how I feel about Led Zeppelin as well. Which is really
Presence? Oh, In Through the Album.
Oh no,
Coda?
sorry, I was thinking of Physical Graffiti. I don't count those ones that came after
because they're just records that came after the one that you decided is.
I don't know. They're like
in your kind of world vision is the last record.
But yeah, that's how I feel about yours at this moment.
Well, I appreciate that because actually, in a way, Cape Dory felt like an album because there was like a coherent narrative. We were like telling one story about one event. And then this album, Pollen, feels the most like an album of anything we've made. Even though we tend to write songs in a more of like a mixtapey feeling because like our own taste is kind of
twee, yep.
Thank you. Twee. That was Pat throwing
mixtapey.
something in outrage to the tweet comment.
Yeah.
No, not twee as in McKinney,
You know what?
but it's in like genre shifting.
Your new record, I've listened to it. It's not twee. I'm going to say that. And the
No, it's
mixtapey
not.
and the
Thank
mixtapey
you.
Definitely
aspect of it, it's a psychedelic pop record, and the mixtapey angle of it is, I picked up on it. And
Yeah, I mean,
and I
as far
love
as
that.
having like a synth song and then a guitar only, like I feel like there's kind of some like dramatic shifts of arrangement.
Huge fan of that.
Ah,
A huge fan of the record.
The dance tracks rule too.
Thank you.
Like those ones. But yeah, no, it does feel like it feels like you guys didn't kind of really follow. Like it almost feels to me super mature in that it's like you didn't really care what came out as far as like in terms of like you say, like, oh, the single has to be here or whatever it might. Not that you've done that on other records, but this one really felt like we're just going to make what we want, how we want to make it, and then put it all in a certain order and like release an album, you know?
Yes, you're right. I mean, it was a very, very self-centered and self-assured endeavor.
Yeah.
It was like just exactly what we wanted.
That's the way you do it.
Did you make it yourselves this time, or did you go into a studio?
No, we worked alone again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used a friend's studio for a little bit for some drum stuff, but the rest we just did at home.
Big believer in that. I think it works. My band, we're certainly in a different place to you guys in terms of, our success, but we took the kind of the reins, I suppose, like about 3 records ago, just decided that we were going to use any kind of advances that we got to kind of buy gear and just really figure it out. And it's probably been the best thing that I've ever done in my career.
That's so good. It's a great strategy. Also, gear is an appreciating asset.
Very nice.
So it is a great use of your advance to buy vintage gear that will hold or increase its value, and you can sell it when you're done with the record and make money off of it.
It's nice to be able to recoup on those advances because they
Business
get
acumen.
small. 10 out of 10.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Johnny
I'd like
talks
to take
a lot.
This moment.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say,
I'd like
Johnny,
take,
you talk a lot about this one microphone that they have.
They have an RCA microphone.
That's the one.
Pat and Alaina that is a special.
Appreciating by the second.
That's what I'm talking
my
about.
God.
10 out of 10 business acumen.
Oh, I'm talking Frank Sinatra, Ray Charles, Sarah Vaughan, you name
Judee
it.
Sill.
They've sang on. Probably. She seems like more of a. Actually, I don't know. I was trying to think of
Gear
pictures
talk.
I've seen of her.
Welcome
we'd like to take
Gear
this to a
Talk.
moment to talk about our favorite website, reverb.com.
Oh, we love it.
If
We have our
you've
own
had
store.
gear for 20 years and you can't pay your rent, reverb.com will help you out. There you
Oh
go.
my God, yeah.
We're trying to get some sponsorships, so we're just doing ads like without actually having the sponsorships, and then hoping that the websites will find
We'll
out.
find you. Yeah.
and pay us.
Yeah.
I love-
Retroactively.
I love reverb.com for the way that it's sort of democratized the pricing of all equipment to like be the most anyone's ever paid for it, and now that is kind of the price point that everyone is expected to pay, kind of like with records.
Yeah.
How Rumors is now like a $70 record, and it used to just be $1 and you'd find it like everywhere you went. I'm DJing on the weekend and I'm trying to find a copy of Tango in the Night, $40.
Good
What?
luck. Good luck.
But honestly, that's just the cost these days. We aren't even repressing some of our records because the cost of vinyl production is so expensive that we don't want to charge our fans what we would have to charge them
Sure.
to justify our own expense.
It's a big kind of soft merch world out there,
I know.
isn't it, these days?
Dude,
Which-
we're just like, all we're doing is selling t-shirts these
That's
days.
cool though. Like I would love a tennis t-shirt. I'm into things. I'm not really into music.
I love things.
I'm just into like kind of like it's with records. I'm going through all these 45s here and stuff. I mean, that's a bit of a stylish one right there. That's origins of twee. We've got rock and roll and Sweet Jane.
Yeah.
But I'm not really even into the records. I just want a nice box to put them in. That's kind of where I'm at
Well, you
in
could
my
build
life.
yourself. I'll build you a box, James. Okay.
I think it's what happens when you get to
I'm
like.
a working
You are,
man out
you
here. I'm
are.
a carpenter now. Jesus was a cross maker.
Jesus
you know
was a
what I mean?
cross maker, yeah. Kind of
Indeed.
it's interesting, isn't it? If you think about it, that this, I think what they're saying, it's quite ironic because he died on the cross. Did he make his own cross? Did he want to die?
He did.
He was a carpenter.
I think he did. I'm pretty sure.
I
Did they
don't
ma-
think he made his own cross.
I don't think they made him
But
do
he
that.
had to
He had to
carry
carry
it.
it.
He didn't build it as well, but
No.
he did.
I
He did.
can't
He did
believe
build.
That would have been a bit too cruel.
I can't believe I've never once considered literally that lyric from Judee
Right.
of whether or not Jesus was like making money as a carpenter, making crosses for people
Poignant.
to be hung on, only to later be. There's no way that he did.
Oh, I actually wouldn't know. But
I'll call my dad
yeah,
after this. He's a
it's
pastor.
funny.
I'll ask him.
My dad will claim to know because we've been building things with wood for a while now, and
I'm going to take a
he
wild...
says things
sorry.
sometimes like he says things sometimes like, you know, the reason I became a carpenter, right, John? And I'll say, no, why is that, Dad? And he'll say, well, because Jesus was one. But then I'll say, but you've never ever been religious or read the Bible or gone to church in your whole life. But it's just kind of a cool thing to say, I think.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think that he is a crossmaker in The Last Temptation of Christ, the movie.
In the movie?
Yeah.
The Scorsese film?
Scorsese movie, yeah.
Could be.
Oh, and that's what influenced
book,
that
maybe.
song. The book is what influenced the song.
Yeah.
Ah.
Did we just segue straight to Judee?
Yeah.
I'd love to talk
That's the
about
way we
Judee
do it.
Sill.
Yeah,
That's the way
let's
we do it.
Yeah, that was very natural
Yeah.
transition.
Do you want to intro Judee Sill for our listeners, Alaina, who may not be familiar with?
Oh God.
Okay, I'll do it because I don't know anything. It'll be funnier.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good.
I don't know anything about Judee Sill really, but I do know this. I own the record, her first record, and I forgot that I had it, and I threw it on right before we did this episode, and this stuff happens to me, and I had like a moment that I was transported back to being 24 or something when I first listened to it, and it was so wonderful. And the opening song, Crayon Angels, came on. And not only did I remember the record, but I remember the first time I heard that song, which was at a Fleet Foxes concert.
That tracks.
And
Robin
covered
covered it solo on acoustic guitar. And I remember I didn't really dig the show that much, but he came out and did that, and it really caught me. And I liked that part of it.
Amazing.
Which is funny, kind of, because I know now I look back and think they were probably a pretty good band.
They were really good. I'm doing everything I can. It's taking all the strength in me to not talk about being twee right now.
Well,
Talking
they are.
about
They're
covering a
they're
Judee Sill record. I'm just have to get out of there.
Yeah, well, they're. I mean, but anyway. So, and then I did a little research, but she is a singer songwriter from the 1960s, early 70s, L.A. I think.
Certainly.
Yeah.
First singer signed to Asylum Records. Look at me go here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's on
David Geffen's
Wikipedia.
label.
Cool stories in rock.
I got the Wikipedia right now. I'm
Yep,
kidding. I
that's
actually
great.
don't. I'm going to. Anyway, that's about all I got.
Well, I think that was great, and I appreciate that for teeing it up. I wasn't quite ready for that.
No worries.
But my first, if we're talking about first exposures to Judee Sill, Pat and I were living in Nashville, and we were trying to write our third record, which was our most tortured, frustrating experience creatively and maybe of my adult life, to be honest. And I just could not figure out what my voice was supposed to be lyrically. And I felt like everything I was doing was like impersonating something. It didn't feel truthful to me. And then I heard a Judee Sill song. I don't even know who or how. I actually think Pat and I would deep dive through YouTube recommended similar artists until we ended up somewhere we hadn't heard of before. And that's how we found Judee Sill. And I heard Jesus was a crossmaker. And I was like, oh, that's how I would write lyrics, which is like weirdly religious. Like inappropriately religious. And then also the like classical music training was also like I had no rock and roll background. I played classical piano, and I felt like I found myself in Judee. Although the comparisons stop right there with lyrics and classical training, because she is a hot mess that I don't relate to at all, but admire deeply and cannot wait to get into.
Nice.
This is actually really wholesome because when Johnny mentioned you wanted to talk about Judee Sill, I thought about my kind of Judee Sill origin story too, and it's very poignant because when I moved to Canada, so in about 2005, I moved in December. I knew a couple of people, but I was kind of really on a solo vibe anyway. I didn't really have any like plans. And in the first 6 months, I didn't meet many people. I met a few people, but I didn't really have a community at all. But I'd come with I was 21, so I'd come with a lot of records, and I was really passionate about music, as you are at that age, as you can only be really at that age. And I remember getting Heart Food on vinyl. And I had a record player in his house, and I was living with this girl. She's just a friend of mine, but she was always away. And I just had this kind of apartment and very few records, and one of them was Heart Food. And I was drinking one of those big liter of red wine, kind of cheap red wine. And I had this weird, I was living in a foreign country on the West Coast, listening to Heart Food all the time. It was kind of what I did at night to just feel myself, to be myself, or it was almost like drawing blood or something. That record has an incredible significance to me. And I kind of always, even back in England, and I joke about it on the podcast a lot, kind of was really romanticized the West Coast of America. And I don't know if this is a grouping that's real, but I kind of group in a lot of these kind of I would call them ladies of the canyon, like Joni and Linda Perhacs and Chrissy Harwood, Laura Nyro. And anytime you find a new one, it's there's another one. And Judee Sill was like that. Obviously really her music's really quite different from those other women. It's not to group them in stylistically or aesthetically. Obviously they're sort of in similar landscape, so they probably sort of psychogeographically have a lot in common with each other. But yeah, her I think that her Christian weird, because I'm not religious at all, but that kind of obsession with the rapture that she has, and kind of all the choral stuff, her vocals were just something. It happens sometimes with particularly with female artists, I find, for whatever reason, that they can just really get into your soul very quickly. Joanne Newsom always used to do that too. You just put it on, you're I'm just going to cry, and it's restorative, and that's just kind of what's happening. That's how Judee Sill's always felt to me, particularly the record Heart Food, which I think is a lot better than the first one.
Never heard it.
I have both.
Never heard this.
I have both, and I love them both equally.
Yeah.
Maybe Heart Food as an album overall is
Yeah.
better, but I think there's some of my favorite songs are on her self-titled record.
I'll have to check it out.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It's we had this guy on Ryan Pauly a couple weeks ago to talk about the Who, and I told him, I'll check them out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Great. Is that your catchphrase? Johnny Thames. I'll check them out.
Down where the valley. I'm thinking down where the valleys are low, into the pearl.
Mm-hmm.
There's a rugged road. Come on, The Kiss.
Yeah, The Kiss. Yeah.
I mean, just seriously, just shoot me in the face. Really.
Well, she's so special, and I would love to get into ranking, because I feel like it's a great way to parse out her life is so complex and so insane. She presents, and she's such an enigmatic person.
Yeah.
A lot of contradictions. So, yeah.
Alaina, you're going to have to lead this ranking a little bit because I don't know.
Ready.
I've got here, I don't know if you can see this, I've got our iWall official ranking sheet.
Oh, I love
here,
that.
with all the categories.
Oh man, I wish you planned this advance. You could have emailed me one, and I would have printed it out and ranked along.
Well, I'll keep track of the ranking here, and I'll let you know.
All right.
And
I'm feeling pretty confident here too, Johnny. Don't worry. I'm kind of I got Judee on the brain here. And I'm
for
sure,
for sure. But someone's got to generally lead the ranking.
I'd like
charge,
Alaina to do it for sure.
Okay.
And Alaina, I'm really so glad that you like our ranking system.
I do.
and I've actually went to my first ranking party when I was in LA recently, and I didn't even know everybody wanted to sit around and rank. And I was up till 2 a.m. not even drinking, just ranking. And I realized how fun it was. So as you go out on this month and a half tour, you and the gang, don't forget about ranking on the road.
You're right.
You know?
We should.
It's quite fun. It's quite fun.
It's better than playing shows. Sorry, what?
Okay,
Easier.
here we go.
Easier.
Judee Sill, artist. Here we go.
Okay.
Hangability. First category here. Hangability.
I feel like 8.
I don't know anything about.
Explain.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
So everyone who meets her, like I've read a lot of accounts of like interviews with friends or people in her social circle. They'll be like, from the moment I met her, I was like captivated and fell into like an easy friendship. She was like fun and I think like a very down to earth person. However, I feel like it maybe depends. Tough. She's a tough. Okay, this is tough.
Let me
actually,
say one thing. Okay, just before we get deep into this ranking, because we've sort of worked out a few of the kinks here, that generally just so people they like to come on the show and they feel a need to rank pretty high in order to not sort of like, offend the artist or something like that. But
I
just
don't
know
have that issue.
This is a safe place.
Well, I was about to undo my eight immediately and now put it down to a possible 4 because it depends on if she was doing drugs.
Respect.
Linda Ronstadt had a story where like Judee was going to help her cover Jesus Was a Crossmaker, but Judee was like so high that she couldn't even like talk or help her. She's like in the studio to help Linda Ronstadt cover her own song, and she's like too fucked up to even do it. So that's a bad hang.
Also just, I'm going to spoiler alert to anyone listening. She died of a drug overdose in 1979, and most of her friends didn't even know for about 5 years because she was so strung out they'd not even spoke to her.
Yeah, she had lost touch with everyone.
So not great hangs there.
Also,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say if Ringo is a 10.
It's a 10. I already know. Ringo's a 10. Ringo's
she
a golden
can't be an 8. I don't
She
think.
can be a 6 for me, though.
Well, I've got one other thing.
Okay.
I read an interview with her where she said she was like a contrarian by nature. And she said if she like ended up with like
10 out of 10.
a crowd of like low riders, she would present as an intellectual. And if she met intellectuals, she would present as a low rider. That was her exact quote. And I was like, oh, I love that about her.
That's pretty
cool. She was
cool.
also very cool, but also like a bit antagonizing.
Yeah, that's okay. She kind of has girl interrupted energy, which I'm always here for.
She does. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So maybe is that now where are we at? Like a 6? It depends on her mood.
How's 6?
Sobriety.
I'm okay with
good.
6. I'm okay with 6. Nice. That was a masterclass in ranking right there. Just that one category. We went a great distance from 8 to 4 to 6. That's how you do it.
People are complex. There's like a spectrum, and then we find the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agree. I've decided I'm unveiling this right now on the podcast, James.
New category?
No new category.
Okay.
The system's perfect, Alaina.
I've got some big news though in a different aspect of this.
We'll
but
get to that.
We'll do that another day.
I've decided technical ability and natural ability. I don't like the connotations of the word natural, etc. I've spoken to people. I want to officially change it, James, to chops and soul.
That's fine by me. That's always how I thought of them. That's what
that's how we
shorthand we're talking
about.
about.
Well, that's great because those categories were probably like scientifically dubious. So chops and soul is better.
Soul is better than natural ability. It's a bit confusing.
Soul is different than like training.
Exactly.
Yeah, training versus soul. Yeah, that's okay.
So here we go. Chops.
Okay.
Chops. AKA technical ability.
She has great technical. She has great technical ability.
Yeah.
But she's not. I mean, if you're saying like a 10 is someone who has like can like shred on every single instrument.
No, it's even if it's one instrument, but they can sit in and jam with anybody.
Who is our archetype here, Johnny?
Well, we've got Paul Rogers, the singer of Bad Company, because he is known technically to have a great sort of power stance.
Well, I think
and
she
voice.
has great chops. I know she like played bass in a trio for a while. She played piano. She plays guitar. So
you mentioned classical training, though. No?
Yeah, she had classical. She played the organ.
Yeah.
Well, that's chops to me.
Yeah, I think she's got chops.
That's
I don't
technical.
think they're specifically high. I think her vocal arrangements and her vocal stylings are quite accomplished.
Yes.
I would say that out of any aspect of her to be ranked on in terms of her chops, I would say that like her like kind of choral, like her ability to quadruple track herself is kind of pretty technical, because I don't know anyone else who does that before or after, quite frankly.
Did she play acoustic guitar on that first record? It's some nice playing to me.
I don't know if she plays on the record, but I've seen her play live and accompany herself on videos, so I know she can play. I don't know if that was her on record, though.
I think she's pretty good.
I'm saying
I like that classical.
Six
again feels all right for me in this category. The classical thing is interesting to me.
Yeah, I think her career was too short. Maybe if we had one more album and more live. So yeah, okay.
Alaina, have you listened to the? I haven't. I only read about it today, actually. Like, have you listened to the third record, like which is now available?
Yes, I have. It's I was like really excited when I came out. It's good, but again, it wasn't like fully formed. It was
vignettes,
like unfinished.
kind of.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, it's never it didn't grab me the way, her records did.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm curious about this classical stuff. So I think 6 is okay.
Well, just because I'm a bit scared of you, Alaina, it can be higher.
I mean, at most, I would push for a 7.
I push for it.
What did Paul McCartney get, James?
Okay.
I don't have it up
Paul
right now, and I
McCartney
refuse to try to move my hands.
I think 6 is good.
Okay.
You said 7?
I would have I feel like she's quite good, but I don't, I'm not sitting in the race. Let's stay with a 6. If we're done rating her and she ends up with like the lowest score of all time, then
she won't.
That won't happen.
Okay.
That won't happen.
Okay.
Let's go 6. For chops.
Gotta be ice cold with this
Soul.
Strong score for me.
Soul? How high can we go?
Well, Soul, Smokey Robinson.
Okay, you're right. Okay, that's a 10. So she's not there.
I don't think
she has so much soul in her writing, but one of the things that I like about her is that there's like an aloofness to it. Mm-hmm. Like aloof is the only word I can think of, which I find pretty hot. Like I love that quality where it's like I'm being extremely vulnerable and doing some like profound work here, and yet you can't quite access this.
Yeah, there's an ironic distance from her music to her personality.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So maybe,
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I like it.
It's performative.
I find it a very attractive quality.
And I think that the way that the music grabbed me today after not hearing it for 15 years, whenever I hear that kind of thing, I think that's a soulful touch to the songwriting and to something.
I mean, lyrically alone, there's so much in there.
Right.
So, hey,
it's a big lyric category.
I'm giving her an 8 because Joni
that feels really good.
Joni and Bob Dylan got 10s, and she's not at that level.
No, she's not there. So
I love that.
8 is nice. Yeah, I feel
doesn't that feel good?
That.
Mm-hmm, that
way to put your
really
way to kind of. That's nice. Someone had to say
anyone who can make me cry, kind of like as if I'm an automaton, like kind of gets a high score there for me.
Yeah. Agreed.
Live performance.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, so I've seen a lot of her live videos. She's very, very good. Very clean, perfect renditions of the recordings. Very sassy. Honestly, this might not be a perfect comparison, but I feel like she maybe would have been like almost like a Cat Power of the 70s. You hear those stories where Cat Power will like just do a solo set? I would hear these stories where she would have like sort of like a self-effacing meltdown in the middle of the show. Yeah, I've
seen her do that, yeah.
Okay, but I feel like Judee would do that. And I've seen...
Is that good?
That's not good for me. Like when I saw Cat Power do that.
I like it.
Cat Power is like one of the worst.
I saw her do it one time, and I think she was just trying to fuck. She was like fucking one of the guys in the front row, which is totally cool. But like, I think she just like kind of like, and it was like the thing that was weird about it was she was kind of having this like, sort of meltdown. And there was all these kind of Cat Power-esque people being like, it's okay, cat. Like, play, it's okay. And the whole melodrama of it to me was insane.
Yes. Well, no one would. But what's funny about Judee is it's more like Andy Kaufman.
That's cool.
That's good.
Because the audience would be like, they're not in on anything. And they're just like, who are you? And she's being so crazy. Like, she would be, like, she said something about, like, please buy my record so I don't have to go on tour with these snotty rock bands anymore.
That's cool.
Yeah, and people would just be like, what?
But, okay, just to take it to a different place that's not going so deep into it, though. She just sat on stage and played guitar and sang, correct?
She only toured alone. I've never,
Right.
She had played in bands, but I've never seen a performance of hers that was with a band.
So, for reference here, James Brown is a 10 in live performance.
Right.
And
So,
I think, we may be
but there's
living...
different thing. It's a different
we
thing.
may be
like
living
a
post...
folk.
Yeah, we may be living post-history and stuff, but like she didn't take as much care and attention as tennis do by bringing a lighting guy with her.
It's kind of
No, but she also was so poor. She was like sleeping in a car. She came from an abusive family. She had no resources. I think she was really good live. And I think it just adds to the live intrigue that she was like sometimes like off-putting between. It was like her banter.
She's getting a 6.
Like challenging.
She gets a 6 from me.
Okay.
There's not enough. I
can't go higher than 6 personally.
She hasn't toured enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and just based on it's like it's great. I'm sure it's great, but it's in that category of people who are really good live.
Elvis Presley
sang their
10.
songs, but it's not Prince. You know what I mean? Like,
Stevie Nicks got Stevie Nicks got an 8. Dylan got an 8. We got
Stevie Nicks is a next level though.
Oh
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
Judee gets a. Honestly,
6.
if Stevie Nicks got an 8, then Judee gets a 5.
Okay, let's do 5.
I like 5.
Okay,
I like 5 personally.
Okay.
It's just not her category. It's nothing.
She's
to
doing
be,
well, Alaina.
Yeah.
She's doing well.
Okay,
she's
great.
doing well.
I feel
she's
fine
doing
about
well.
all of this.
I ranked Harry Nilsson for reference. You know how much I love Harry Nilsson.
We
One
love.
of our lowest scores we've ever had.
Well,
Poor Harry did not fare well.
okay, but we still love him.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
He got a 10 in hangability.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Sex appeal.
Ooh.
Well,
Okay,
I'm gonna
bi.
I'm gonna dive in here because I love a kind of girl interrupted, like kind of toxic. She
me
kind of
too.
looks a bit like Joan Didion as well. She's got
Yes.
the big glasses and
Yes.
stuff. Could have been a Manson girl. Like it's kind of got the
Yes.
whole kind of aesthetic wrapped up.
Frankly, 8 or 9. for
Also,
me.
like
But it's not
looks
just
kind of
about
asexual
looks
too.
to me. Not just about looks to me. This
No,
category.
that's what I'm
In fact,
saying. I'm not even talking
Yeah.
about
We're
her
not
looks.
discussing looks,
I've
no.
not even mentioned
It's
it.
vibe only.
Vibe is what I
Yeah.
talked
Vibe
about.
Yeah,
only,
honestly,
vibe only.
Manson Girl is the perfect.
Yeah,
description of her
Rodeo
vibe.
Drive could have been there.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
vibe. So for me, like,
I hear you guys. I hear you.
self-destructive, toxic energy, better at music than you. Like kind
Openly
of.
bi though, before people were a lot of people were still closeted at the time, and that was kind
That's cool.
Yeah, swinging. I mean, I'd go like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I like it. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I go with
I'll-
8. I don't mind if you round me down.
I'll go 7.
Okay, so
Alaina says
7.
8. James, call it.
7's
Seven.
good. I'm
Okay.
thinking that, like, with sex appeal again, it's like Elvis is 10.
I don't know. Is that who we
You know
picked
what's
as the
funny?
person?
Elvis is not
Stevie
a
Nicks
10
is
for me.
9. Stevie
Yeah,
Nicks is 9. We got.
I think we need to change our
Joni's
sex appeal
8.
avatar. We need a new sex appeal avatar. I don't
Okay.
like Elvis either. After seeing that Elvis movie,
Well, I
and
think
that
Anthony
actor who
Kiedis
plays him
is
being such
the
an
avatar
idiot
of
on the
sex
red.
appeal.
Kiedis, now we're talking.
Exactly.
That's
Everyone
the
agrees.
Yeah.
He should be 10.
Yeah.
He should be our avatar for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, I
Kiedis, yeah.
love this.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Fashion. For reference, David Bowie is a 10.
She's
Okay.
generic 70s, like LA.
Yeah, nothing special. But again,
Yeah.
I don't want to hit her too hard because she was so poor and on drugs half of her life.
But you know
That
what?
That
You
often
when
benefits
ranking,
you.
You have to. You can't be
You're right.
too sympathetic
You're
to
right.
that
It's on
stuff.
socioeconomic.
Like,
Economic.
Because Patty also was poor. Patty Smith.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
she always had incredible style.
So a lot
Yeah.
of the East Coasters did.
Yeah.
They kind of you just needed one leather jacket and a pair
one
of
leather.
drain
Look at,
pipes.
You're right.
Yeah,
Judee,
one look.
Judee was cool, very cool, but yeah, kind of generic 70s. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even. Let me look at a couple.
She didn't
pictures
even
of
kind of
some-
fully dive into the like ashram, swami kind of cats
You're
and
right.
candles
She flirted
vibe.
with that
Yeah.
a bit, like some robes or whatever,
Yeah.
but she didn't go all the way.
No, and she
Yeah.
didn't even do kind of like the Karen Carpenter thing.
I see
Like,
what you
No.
mean
It's
about
hard
the
to-
Manson girl vibe. I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The fashion's pretty
Not
to me.
fully formed, very generic.
Exactly, not
I'm
thought
gonna go-
out.
5?
5. It's an even 5.
Yeah, it's like not bad, but it's not.
No, it's not
great.
bad. The glasses are cool.
Yes, very cool.
Glasses are cool.
Love
I
her
see
hair.
Iconic glasses, iconic hair.
Sure. Five's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would have said maybe 4, but I'll go 5.
Oh, but wait, is there a point you made that even though her fashion's not good, she also looked iconic?
I just think that
That's kind of- yeah.
the kind of she doesn't have an iconic look though.
You're right, you're
Like
right, you're right.
she
The
doesn't
glasses,
have one.
though, you know that, but I think that gives her the 4 or 5.
Yeah, but like Shannon
Without the
Taylor's
glasses,
wearing
it's
those
a 2.
glasses.
Yeah, you're
Without
right.
the glasses, it's like a 2 or 3. For
I like
me.
her
Sorry.
androgyny, like personally. She sometimes kind of
too,
has
me
that.
too.
That would be more like
That's
where I.
part
That's
of the
more
sex
sex appeal,
appeal.
though. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4, but you guys want 5?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
She's gonna get really
Trust
fucked
the
in these
expert,
in these
Johnny.
next couple of categories. So
I'm just looking at the pictures here about.
Okay.
Business acumen.
she doesn't look like Zoe
Zero.
Chanel. She's not wearing
Gotta
dresses.
that's got to be.
Business
huge.
acumen is
No, it's a lot of dresses actually.
One?
Here, a lot of dresses.
I mean, she sold a couple of tunes to Turtles. She worked with Graham Nash. She tried to. She was on Geffen. She called him a word I'm not allowed to use, even on a paywalled episode, actually. And but so like maybe 1 just for like trying.
yeah, she did. Yeah, no business acumen.
It's got to be very low. Nothing really happened, right?
Nothing.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Like she became like one of the sort of light in the attic style.
Big time.
Like later, people got into
Big
the
time.
record.
She held up some liquor stores and convenience stores. Is that business acumen?
I
I
mean,
think probably not.
Okay.
I think one's good. One's good.
Okay.
yeah. Unfortunately,
You got to have a low score.
Resourceful, scrappy, resilient.
that's true.
But not business acumen.
And, yeah.
It's like close, but not there.
And also,
Maybe
like, she
2,
probably
maybe 2.
She probably wouldn't want a high score. It's like Lou Reed wouldn't want a high score here.
No,
He'd be
that
like,
would be like
"Fuck
selling
this."
out. Like I
yeah,
don't
Yeah.
care about money.
I think-
yeah.
I think
But
maybe
she
it's
did
a
care about
2.
fame.
I
Yeah,
think
let's
maybe
go
it's
with
a
a
2 because, like, you're right. She sold a song to the Turtles. There's a few things. There was an effort made. I'll go 2.
But then she got strung
Yeah.
out and couldn't do the Ronstadt one. You know.
oh, that's
Yeah.
just the rock and roll kind of story,
Yeah.
you know. Like,
Yeah.
I think she two's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think
so too.
I don't think there was a lack of trying there. I think that 1 is really just you don't care and you don't even try.
I mean, should she get 3? Because like Harry Nilsson got
Okay.
3.
Well, Harry's because of his connection to the Beatles,
Sure.
getting John to produce a
True,
record,
yeah, that's fine.
linking up with all that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good business. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
he
let's
wrote
say
loads of
3.
songs for people. Harry got 3. She can't get as high.
Okay,
he
2.
wrote like multiple songs
2's
for so
fine.
many people. Okay.
Is selling your songs business acumen? If people just want your songs, they're getting it. That doesn't mean
Well,
you're like good at business.
But he went door to door for like years
Okay.
selling his
Oh,
songs to people.
That's way more business acumen
Yeah.
than Judee. So she can't have
Harry's
his score.
Yeah, he's
She has to
higher.
be lower than that.
Two.
Okay, 2.
Okay.
All right.
Innovation.
I think very original sound. Innovative
Yeah.
might be a tougher category to stick, but originality, yes, I think.
That
and I
plays
think
into it.
that's why no one really even knew what to do with her at the time. Like people knew she was like a singular talent and a great songwriter, but was like nobody really knew where to put her.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I also would say that particularly with her first 2 records, given that I haven't really heard the kind of the vignette one, like unfinished one, like they don't sound like anyone else. And they definitely have, like, you can tell that they've been produced in a way to, like, fit her into the Asylum sound. That kind of From the Birds to the Eagles kind of, confessional Laurel Canyon singer-songwriter thing. But they don't really fully sound like that. She sounds very unique. Like, I don't know.
Take it.
It's kind of like a Vashti Bunyan kind of character.
Yeah, I'm going to take it in a place you guys probably would take it, which is, and I don't even know much about her, which is that as far as I could hear when I listened to the record today, she influenced a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the early 2000s.
Definitely twee stuff.
We have twee stuff big time. That era, that Joanna Newsom kind of era of music.
Yeah,
and
like Fruit Bats or some
more
shit
than
like that.
Joni Mitchell, I'd even say. I was listening to that. I was like, it sounds a bit like it's from 2008 or something.
Yeah.
So I would say it's not a low score for me because I knew a lot of
No,
it was
I think
a
it's
buzz
a high
record.
score.
It was a buzz record. Yeah.
I would say 7.
7 feels so good to me.
I'd say 7.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Great, me
At
too.
Zulu Records, you know how many people came in and bought that record and talked about it? It was very influential.
Aw, I love
it's
that.
a big star kind of
Big
vibe
star
in a way.
style of kind of influence.
It just makes me sad she didn't live long enough to witness it because she would have been so gratified by this moment.
No doubt.
Only the good die.
Endurance. Ooh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Endurance
no.
is Endurance has gotta be.
Oh.
Let's just maybe not talk too much about it and give her a 2.
Three records, like is like 2.5 records and like a death, 2 or 3.
In like 1 decade.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think maybe it's
2.
a 2 or 3. I mean,
2's good. 2 feels
in a whole
right.
decade, 2
if
record.
I'd like to abstain from this.
Let's go 2.
You can let James and I handle this.
yeah.
Let's go 2. Let's go 2 and move on.
Let's go 2 and move on here.
I gotta say that
Legacy.
I've got
now we can redeem her.
Yeah.
I've also
Yeah.
want to say I have a Excel style spreadsheet which is totting up the points tally as we go, and I'll tell you she's not doing bad.
No,
good.
she's doing pretty
Okay,
good.
Okay. All right. So Legacy. I would say we're pretty much at a 9.
It's high. That's
9
high.
is too high.
Well,
for
Bob
Legacy?
Marley's got a 10.
Oh God. Okay,
So-
you're right. I always forget about that.
I
Yes,
think
okay.
it's high.
You need to be a Smokey Robinson or a Beatle or a Lou Reed. You need to be like an archetype to be
Joni's
up there.
gonna get a 10.
Joni
without
gets a 10.
doubt.
Judy doesn't get a
Yeah.
10.
But here's my issue with this. So like Legacy is like posthumous. And
No.
But it probably gets amplified within.
Right.
No,
within that
you're right.
world.
But
You're
like,
not-
if
no,
someone was
sorry.
already huge while they were in their prime, and then they're still huge after they're dead, Legacy. I don't know, but Judee was like known by no one, a huge abject failure, abandoned by everyone, and
Yep.
now beloved by like the most important living like current songwriters. So
Yes,
surely
but
that's
also-
a big argument.
Is
for
she
Legacy.
though? Really?
It gives her a decent score, but I would still say she's pretty obscure.
She's a bit one
Like,
of
I
those
would say-
people that you could do like all right, name 3 songs. We could do it, but most people, I don't know if people
pretty
people
niche.
listen to her.
No. Well, again, I said only for songwriters, not
Yeah,
for
Right,
the masses.
sort of people who, sort of.
That's
with,
what's actually funny to me is like every time our album would come out and it wouldn't be like a chart-topping hit, people would be like really shocked, and I'm like, it's not commercial at all. I don't know
musician, musician.
like who thought that those albums were going to be like chart toppers. Like they're so esoteric.
Do you know the record?
For Legacy?
Do you know the record Parallelograms by Linda Perhacs?
I
don't.
do. I just heard it.
Okay.
It's so good.
That's a classic, one of
Yes,
these
it
kind of
is.
lost
You're
records
right,
that's
it is.
mind-blowing record that I
Yes.
got around the same time as this. So I
Yes.
always tied them together.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great example.
Here's what I'd say about Legacy as a category. I'm not talking about how, but it's 2 things for me. It's what have you left behind musically?
Yeah.
What is your canon of albums, your discography? What has been left behind? And how beloved are you in not only just the niche songwriter world or anything, but it's a combination of that, like musician, and worldwide, like in the eye of the masses.
And I just want to kind of,
it all comes into play.
And I want to just reiterate
and
what
then
Johnny's saying.
you have an accumulation of those things, and that's your legacy score.
And when it comes to this, podcast, because Johnny's the main, like he is the ice cold ranker, and he's the kind of Johnny understands this better than anyone.
I like that you defined your terms, and I get your terms, so I guess I'd go with a 6 then. That
feels 6. I was going to say 6 or 7.
6 feels high to me.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm thinking Nielsen got a 6.
Really?
I think she's on par with Harry in this. Well,
Harry Nilsson is so much more legacy than Judee.
Yeah, so maybe
Nilsson
it's a 5.
Got a 6. Damn.
Well, it's niche though.
Maybe you like overcorrected because you love Harry so much.
No, it's niche.
Well, I think that he's not. If you look at his Spotify numbers, Alaina, like they're way less than yours. Yeah. They're way lower than yours, Harry Nilsson. You know what I mean? Like and stuff like that. So it's like he's not really. And same with Judee Sill.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely crushing Harry Nilsson.
Crushing Nilsson in streams.
Oh my God. Okay, all right.
Well, actually, no, that's not true. I'm just going to say, Johnny, you're completely wrong. But he has a couple of big tunes.
I guess everybody's talking probably.
If Nilsson got 6, and I guess Judee gets 5.
I like 5 for legacy for her because she's wonderful, but if we're talking about when all is said and done, who will be remembered in music for whatever it is.
I just always feel sympathetic to the people who only are known long after they're gone and were never known in their time at all. Their work, their legacy is the only thing that anyone has of a connection to them.
Right.
So I always feel like that's an argument. But based on all of your terms, I feel like 5 is okay.
And without that, she'd get a 0. If she hadn't had that comeback, right?
Right.
Like, so that's kind of what I mean.
We wouldn't even
that's what makes it a 5.
Be talking about her.
No, so that's a 5 to me, right?
Okay.
Whereas the Beatles are a 10, or you know what I mean?
And also, I just want to also say that like when I go on like, I don't know, Zomato or like Google or whatever to find a restaurant to go and eat at, or a film to watch on Netflix or something, I'm never going for the 5 out of 5s or the 1 out of 5s. I'm a 3 out of 5 guy. So these people who fit like Nilsson and Judee Sill, these people who are kind of like holding the middle ground, they're divisive characters, which is kind of what we've always wanted to be as musicians.
You're right. And they fit better into your life.
They do.
And a lot of
And
a lot of people you might think would get like a high score, they'll get points knocked off as time goes on when they make dumb decisions in their career, in their music. They put out bad albums. For all we know, Paul McCartney could wind up lower than Judee Sill in legacy. He's still got time to
blow it.
When him and Dave Grohl kind of start to beat the second
Dave
Beatles.
Grohl goes down a point every year as far as I'm concerned. Okay, add it up, James. What have we got for Judee?
She's sitting pretty at
Judee's sitting pretty?
53, which is kind of, she's kind of right. She's right at the bottom, but like for perspective, Stephen Still's got a 54. We got Harry at 57.
Graham Nash produced one of her records. Right?
A single, yeah.
Yeah, or the single, you're right.
Yeah. I don't know what that means in terms of ranking.
It sounded a little more produced.
Yeah, it did. That one song.
When I listened to it.
Not one of my favorites.
Keyed up.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that song.
That's my favorite one.
Me too. It's my absolute favorite. Yeah. I mean, that is the song that like unlocked my writing potential personally.
That's a huge thing.
Gave me permission, to write weird biblical references into pop songs.
And I don't think that you're going to get that from a Hey Jude. You know what I mean?
No.
You got to get that from someone who deeply believes in the rapture.
Hey
Judas, that'd be cool. Yeah, he ain't got a devilish bone in his body.
And then they edited it in the last moment.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, that's the famous story.
Yeah.
He did. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
It seems like a low score to me, but here's what I'll say. For an artist like Judee Sill, I think it's probably right. The system works, and I think it's not a bad score.
I'm
I'm okay
fine
with it because she had a short, there's not a big body of work and not a lot of tours to draw from.
Exactly.
And the thing is, Alaina, is that this system, unfortunately, for many beloved artists, is designed for pop stars, for rock stars, a little bit.
It's it's an objective system that works on every time. Don't sell yourself short, Johnny.
No, but it is true. We've said who comes out on top. The Bowies, the Michael Jackson. Well, did Michael Jackson get a good score?
I don't think we did him.
We've never done
it. It was
but, some of the categories like business acumen, a lot of artists who didn't get huge are going to suffer.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But she's like you said, she's got an antagonistic energy, or did have. Like she'd be like, I don't want like an 80.
No.
Well, that's what's so interesting is because she was like really mad that she wasn't famous.
We all know that feeling, though. Like that's a toxic feeling that permeates through like musicians and can really get in the way of you enjoying your life.
Yeah.
Let alone enjoying the music that you make. So, you
know.
Alaina.
In closing, I just want to say about Judee, I love her because she's such a complicated person.
Love it too.
Yeah.
Agree. Completely agree.
My favorite kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Alaina, thank you so much. I know that you actually didn't even really have a full hour for us, but you've done it like a true professional.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because the ranking cannot be left undone.
No. We have to rank all the way through.
Best of luck on the tour.
To do it.
Yeah, and we are your Alaina and Patrick and the tennis band will be in a city near you. Go and see them; they're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also going to be in Vancouver on April 20th, my
there.
father's birthday. And I am going to do everything in my power to get over there for the show, and you should join me.
I will be there. I have no life at all, so anything like that is something to look forward to.
Okay, well, we want you to be there.
And also, I just want to say, I know you're busy, and I know you're preparing for a tour with your band, so we really appreciate you taking the time to do this because it's really fun.
Well, thanks for letting me talk about someone that I love so much. I'm sure Johnny told you I really wanted to talk about Enya. But then we were discussing how, like, I actually haven't even listened to an Enya album all the way through in my life. I just wanted to rank Enya. It just seems like it would be amazing just with, like, barely any information. I still kind of want to do that one day.
I kind of thought she was a dolphin. I didn't know she was a real person.
You have got a date with us anytime you like when you get back from tour to rank Enya. Okay?
All right. Thanks, guys. Maybe by then I'll have listened all the way through one record.
Be better if you didn't, I think.
Yeah.
But,
you know what? I won't. Then. I'll just keep listening to the singles only.
Okay, great.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.